I'm Peter Whitmore, 73 years old, and what I'm about to share is something I truly wish someone had grabbed me by the collar and forced me to understand when I was younger. I'm not exaggerating. I've watched people, myself included, quietly wreck perfectly decent lives over the same handful of mistakes. Not dramatic, headline-making disasters. Quiet ones, the kind that slowly eat away at you over 10, 20, 30 years until one day you look around and wonder how you ended up so far from where you meant to be. The first mistake is treating your body like it'll send you an invoice later. It won't. It sends a verdict. I smoked from 16 to 44, 28 years, not because I enjoyed it toward the end, but because quitting felt like too much trouble. You know what else is trouble? A cardiologist telling you at 57 that your arteries look like rusty pipes. When you're young, you think your body isn't keeping score. It is. Every skipped meal replaced with junk, every night of 4 hours of sleep, every decade spent sitting instead of moving. It all adds up. Your body doesn't forget. It just waits. The second mistake is choosing comfort over honesty with the people closest to you. My brother Ray and I didn't speak for 11 years over a misunderstanding about money he borrowed from our mother. Instead of telling him it hurt me, I froze him out. Holidays passed. His kids grew up without knowing their uncle. I told myself I was the one who'd been wronged, so it was his job to fix it. That wasn't pride. That was cowardice. When we finally talked, it took less than an hour to clear up. 11 years of silence, all because I avoided one uncomfortable conversation. Third, we measure ourselves against people who aren't even playing the same game. My old neighbor bought a beautiful boat he barely used, and I stood in my kitchen feeling like a failure because I couldn't afford one. A boat I didn't even want. I don't fish. I get seasick. But somehow, in my mind, I was behind. Behind who? There was no race. I invented one, then got upset I wasn't winning it. Comparison drains the joy out of everything you already have. Fourth, we tell ourselves we'll get to the important things once life calms down. Life never calms down. It just changes shape. I put off learning piano for 15 years, always waiting for the perfect time. Then came health issues, home repairs, family expenses, and suddenly I was 73. I did start lessons at 68. I'm terrible at it. Truly awful. But I'm awful and happy, which beats the decades I spent waiting for a moment that was never going to arrive. Fifth, we cling to an old version of ourselves long after it's expired. I was a decent high school wrestler and talked about it well into my 50s. My daughter finally said gently, "Dad, that was 35 years ago." She was right. I'd been so attached to who I used to be that I hadn't bothered becoming anyone new. Past accomplishments make fine memories, but they're a terrible identity. 6, we build our social world around people who only show up when life is easy. I had a regular group of friends for years. When my business partner ran off with our money, not one of them called to check in. No grand gestures, just a simple "you okay?" would have meant something. Fair weather friends aren't necessarily bad people, but if they're your whole support system, you'll feel it when the storm comes. 7th, we let resentment become our default setting. After being betrayed in business, I carried anger everywhere for years. I brought it up constantly, like a story that needed retelling. My wife finally said, "You're letting that man live rent-free in your head." She was right. Resentment doesn't punish the other person. It poisons your own days. You don't have to forgive everything, but carrying bitterness forever costs you more than it cost them. 8th,